So what we're going to talk about in this video, it's no shock to anybody that consumes this kind of content, watches our YouTube channel, or anybody else's with this category. But there's a saying, how far deep does the rabbit hole go? And every day, every week, or when we finally kind of notice and say, hey, wow, that's something even new right there. I didn't expect that. You experienced this 3 different times. And what we're talking about is Big Brother.
Yeah.
Spying, watching us, listening to us in this case. It's so weird.
How big is Big Brother?
Dude, is there another adjective to describe it besides big?
He's
all-encompassing brother?
He's an enormous brother, omnipresent brother at this point. You know, I think we've known for a long time that they've been tracking our web surfing and applying it, you know, exchanging algorithms or
data mining.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, like you brought up earlier, you search for something on Amazon, next thing you know, it shows up on your Facebook feed, but those are 2 different logins, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so that kind of thing's been happening for a while. And I remember 5 or 6 years ago when my wife and I were pregnant for our first child, I remember texting my parents the picture of the ultrasound, right? And I sent it to my parents, I sent it to my sister, I sent it to several people. Oh, look at there's the ultrasound. And, you know, in the days following, I kept getting all these emails from, they were basically these ad emails from ultrasound companies. You know, ultrasound training, ultrasound blah, 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 ultrasound photos. And I'm like, that's kind of freaky. You know, I'm texting my family something intimate, and boom, within a day, I'm getting emails trying to sell me stuff based on ultrasound. So I've kind of known that was around for a long time. You?
Yeah, well, somewhat, but it doesn't make any sense because, of course, if you emailed somebody, and once again, that's invasive if you use the keyword ultrasound or did whatever, but I'm talking about 2 different communication methods. It's almost like the same thing as a phone call. If you mentioned, and we'll get to the voice stuff, if you mentioned on the phone, hey, we got the ultrasound done, and then that's in your inbox, that's
strange.
Wow.
Correct. And, you know, and this brings me to an incident over the summer where I actually had chills when this happened. I'm in Atlanta for an appointment, right? I go to my appointment. I run into a guy that I hadn't seen in a while. And he said, hey, call me when you're out. So I give him a call when I'm in the parking lot. I'm talking, and he says, you got time for coffee before you leave town? I said, sure, no problem. I said, but you're going to have to help me out. I don't know the area. What's good around here? What's a good coffee spot around here? And he says, oh, well, actually, I live in a different part of Atlanta. I have no idea. So I said, okay, let me check. I take the iPhone down from my ear. And as I'm taking it down, you know, you always see the phone screen, like the screen with the progress of your call.
Yeah. Right?
How many minutes or seconds you've been on the phone and the little buttons. But as I'm taking it down from my ear, the map pops up. And it gets populated with the dots. And the dots are
almost
coffee
like
spots.
Almost like you said coffee near me.
It was without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, that's what it was. Instantly, it was showing me all the coffee spots in my area on my map. And I was like, holy crap, I didn't ask for that. I didn't press the Siri button. It's listening. And I took a screenshot of it, and I had chills. I couldn't believe it. Bringing me to just recently, I had a birthday. My wife gets me a black leather jacket. And I assure everyone out there, I've never once searched on Amazon or anywhere else for a black leather jacket. So she gives me the jacket. I'm like, oh, thanks. That's great. My kids have never heard the word leather, right? So, being just a few years of age, they love to repeat things over and over. So my kids are like, black leather jacket, leather jacket, black leather jacket, right?
Yeah.
2 hours later, I pick up my phone, I open up Facebook. What are the ads? It's all black jacket ads. That blows my mind. I'm like, my phone was not even in my hand when we were having the black leather jacket conversation. So not only are they reading our text and applying it to things, not only are they looking at our searches and applying it to other platforms, but now they're just constantly listening to what we're talking about so they can sell us stuff.
Well, you can voluntarily have them listen to you because the Amazon Echo, the Echo Dot, Google Home, Apple will come out with one for Siri. Even, I can't say the word because it'll trigger it, but they have the command now where you can say, hey, to the phone, and which means that it's always listening. They say it's just for the one phrase, but how do we know? The proof with you and with me most times is they're listening the more. And when you voluntarily, because of the cool factor, say, oh, well, they advertise it with the Echo and the Echo Dot. It's got those 6 speakers, I believe, and it ranges to
All
listen to
over.
you throughout the whole house.
Sure.
So if you want to say what's,
Yeah.
we've become a society too, and I love technology. That's why how we can do this and put this
Certainly.
stuff together with editing software. But why do I need to ask Siri, Google Now, Amazon Echo, or Echo Dot, or anything else what the weather's like when I have two windows right behind me here and I can look outside and see?
Right.
We've become very dependent
on it.
We talk about things. We're going to talk about it in one of our videos about simulation hypothesis and the Matrix and stuff like that. But look at Terminator, look at Skynet. Do you think that's somewhat predictive programming? Because Star Trek, all these things, all these shows, almost 100% are showing the future of what we're living in right now. Big Brother,
right?
the book, Big Brother, the movie, and all the other stuff.
I think I have to say, elaborating on what you just said or answering what you just said, what's ironic about this issue, this topic, is that this is probably the least taboo topic that we've discussed here as a curious and agent, right? We've discussed flat Earth, we've discussed the moon landing hoax, that sort of thing, and a lot of that stuff is very, very small and niche. The Big Brother stuff, I think a lot more people are aware of this issue. My parents are aware of it, right?
When the Patriot Act is basically 1,000 pages long and they present it to you at 11:30 at night and you have a half hour to read it and sign it, and people just sign it because we're under attack.
We're under attack.
And then it auto-renews at certain times and days where it's like they don't read these laws. And that's where I don't know if it was in the Patriot Act or another National Defense Act, Authorization Act, or something like that. I don't know the exact law, but there's a law that exists where they wanted to be able to, and I don't know if it got passed or not, because once again, there's so much flying by in the 24 hours news cycle, and it's so fast, to be able to turn on our front-facing cameras at any time that they choose to see us, to turn on the phone and listen. That is somewhere either passed or going through the rounds of being passed. And that's our life right now.
Sure. And they, whether or not
they could be listening right now through this webcam that's just on my desktop.
Yes.
That's not even on.
And all that stuff you said prior to the show, they heard it all, right?
Yeah, as long as my wife doesn't hear it.
Right. But that's the ironic thing is, I think of all the things we've discussed, this is probably the broadest in the way that I think more people are probably aware of this. My parents, for instance, they're not into moon landing hoaxes. But they know, and they're aware of how far-reaching this has kind of become. I think that there's a broader audience, yet I don't see any movement to stop it.
That's what my question was. Do you think it's more of a sin or a crime that the people are aware of it? And, well, what are you going to do?
Yeah, it's like we were trading. We'll take the gadgets and the easy weather forecasts and the, hey, Echo, tell me how much this cost or whatever.
It used to be presented under trading liberty for security, and we've now know that
now we're trading here's a way to say it. Now we're trading convenience for privacy. We're giving away our privacy and possibly security in exchange for convenience and for gadgets.
Yeah, I think what's the saying, those who give up liberty for security are going to give up both.
Yeah, we'll lose both,
and we're continuing to lose that. I don't even think. I know that it's just a mix of words, but it's the same exact thing.
It is.
Our privacy is our liberty.
Sure, all of these. Yes, exactly. It is, and all of these gadgets are great, and I love them. You love them, like you said. But knowing that they're listening to us when you bring the phone in your bedroom, when you're talking to someone about a private political conversation, etc. I mean, that's kind of scary to me. And that so many people realize it's happening and aren't speaking up about it.
True. I want to make one last point too, that when people say, well, you shouldn't have to worry about it because if you're not doing anything wrong, what is wrong and what is right?
There you go. Who defines what is right and wrong?
Exactly.
There you go. So if we elect someone who decides that, hey, the left is right and the right is wrong, or vice versa, and defines them as terrorists to our country, then they can look back or listen back and go backwards and listen to your conversations for the last 10 years and rate you on a terrorism score.